Hey everybody, what's up? Blue Sky Guy here, and today we're going to be playing some more hardcore modded Minecraft. And yeah, I finally got the recording software to work properly, so it doesn't do that stupid freeze frame thing that it did before. And it ran for about 2 hours and 16 minutes without a problem, so I'm pretty positive that it's working properly now. I don't know what was going on, but it was doing that with every game, so I had to figure out what was wrong with the recording software, so, sorry about that. But episode 2 and all the other episodes are gonna be a lot better. Anyway, I just had to put my phone on silent. And we finally saved our spawn point. So we won't keep dying and going to somewhere random. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's actually really hard in this mod to actually save your spawn point, because one of the hardest things to get in the start of the game is wood planks, because you actually have to find iron to find the wood planks. There's another way to do it, but that requires a I don't know what it requires actually. It requires a flint tool of some sort. It's not the axe, but it's another sort of flint saw thing. But you can make it with a iron saw. So how you do that is you get 3 sticks and 2 bits of iron, and you just put them horizontally. And yeah, I finally made a shield, and I was really happy about it, because now I can actually block attacks. It looks really cool though. I'm really liking this first person's perspective. Like, I don't know, it's just more realistic and immersive. Although you do have to take the FOV from about 60 to 75, because otherwise you can't see anything at all. So yeah, that's just a tip. But you don't want to go any higher, otherwise it's like you're in VR. You don't want to look like you're in VR if you're not on VR. Because I tried taking it up to about 90 and fixing, the collision. But, that didn't work, so you just learn to live with it, and learn to sometimes have stuff in your face. It's really good for combat though. It's just putting that out there. Although you can't really do the MLG Pro moves, but well, you can if you learn to. But this mod isn't really about doing MLG Pro moves, it's about having realistic combat, so I'm gonna make some machines soon, when I get my levels up, and when I get everything else together. So yeah, that'll be fun. And I'll keep what machines I have turned on a secret until then, because I don't want to spoil anything. But just a heads up, there's spaceships, there's mechs, and there's F-22 fighter jets. I know, it's stupid, but I just wanted to have it as a system, you've got the Stone Age, and then you've got the Iron Age, and then you've got the Bronze Age, and then all the different ages, and then you've got the and you got the early 90s age, 1900s age, where you got pipes and stuff, and you got the medieval age. And I accidentally hit this iron golem, and I had to kill him. He was kind of stuck, so it was easier than it would have been otherwise. I wouldn't have done that if he wasn't stuck though, because, you know, that's not a good idea, normally. But yeah. This house was half destroyed because a dragon burnt it down. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. So, I had to rebuild it partly because the roof was burnt off and pretty much half the walls were gone, so I had to rebuild them as well. And yeah, it's looking a lot nicer. But yeah, I can't believe I finally got some beds though. I'm glad that I finally got that. And I wouldn't have to keep respawning at a random place on the map, because that is the most annoying thing ever, quite honestly. And you don't want to go caving, you don't want to go spelunking without equipped weapons, because there is some weird stuff down there. Like, you can just be happily mining, and then, like, a demon comes out of the darkness and kills you, and you don't know where your stuff is or anything like that. That's happened to me multiple times, and I've learnt to go down well armed. And I've learnt that probably a sword and a shield is not enough, so, yeah. But I'm glad that the furnaces didn't get destroyed when the dragon burnt this house half down. Oh yeah, and pretty much I had a blood moon, which means anything can spawn. Like, even bosses can spawn out in the open without even having to look for them, which is good if you have equipped, you know, weapons and stuff. But, you know, when you don't have equipped weapons and stuff, it's kind of annoying, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna go out and fight some monsters, and then you're like fighting zombies and everything, and then, you know, a blood dragon just comes along and eats you, and you're like, oh, right, okay, so I'm not allowed to be alive. This mod is so hard, like, quite honestly. When you're mining, actually, probably the best type of mine to have is an open cut mine. I was just happily mining coal, and then this came out of nowhere, and, you know, I didn't know what it was, and it trapped me in a corner and killed me. And then I spent about 20 minutes trying to get my stuff back. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And I actually found a nether portal, like, right outside my village, so that's good. Chupacabras are pretty easy to kill, as long as they're not with anything else. If they're like with, what are those things called? You know, the things in Aliens vs Predators, and, you know, they grab onto your face, yeah, those things. If they're with them, that's a bad mix, and they have spawned together multiple times on this world, and, you know, I think they're best buddies, because, yeah, it's happened to me more than once. I always hate when you go to heal, and the nymph just flies off, like, oh, thanks, I wasn't trying to heal next to you, or anything crazy like that. And I honestly don't know what happened there. That big hole in the ground, yeah, I don't know where that came from. I didn't fight anything out there. There must have been, like, on the, although it's still got the blood moon was quite a while ago, so, you know, still got the dirt blocks there. So it wouldn't have been the mutant creeper, because that's the boss, and, you know, they only spawn in blood moons. and sometimes, very rarely, out in the open. But normally on blood moons is when mutant creatures spawn. But yeah, I was hoping to get a chicken from this egg, and I was taking it back home, but I didn't get any chickens from the egg. And I actually found out I was right next to the ocean, so that's really good too. And right next to a massive ravine that I almost fell in. And right next to a flock of horses. I don't know what they're called. Like, what's a flock of horses called? Like a herd, I guess. Yeah, that's the right word. And then I went around trying on horses until I found one that had the best amount of health and the nicest coat. Because, you know, that's important. Although I've learned something. Usually the less equipped in health are actually the faster horses. So, just a pro tip. If you want a tough horse, get the tough horse, but you know, the tough horse isn't always the fastest. I'm like, are we friends now? I'm like, oh, we're friends now. This horse did not survive long. R.I.P. random horse that I didn't name. And I was really happy about that find. And that was a lot of stuff for the for a little house on the beach. And then I almost jumped my horse into that ravine, which actually runs all the way to the village. So I might actually try and see if that actually does run to the village, because it seems to go in the same direction as the ravine that runs straight through the village. So yeah, it might run straight through the village, I'm not sure. But pretty much what happened to that horse is it got picked up by an eagle thing, whatever it's called, and it got dropped from about 50 blocks. So yeah, it died. And then I killed the eagle thing because it decided to try and pick me up. Luckily I had a sword, and you know, luckily I fell in some water. So I didn't die, so that's good. I didn't see the saddle again though, sadly. And yeah, I decided to finally make a roof for this house because, you know, I don't want to get picked up in the middle of the night by one of those eagle things again. Because that is really annoying. I was really scared about falling off for some reason. I don't know. It's really easy to fall off stuff in this. Well, you know, mainly because of the field of view, but also because, you know, different blocks have different, you know, whatever it's called, hitboxes, I guess. And sometimes you don't realise how close you are to the edge. But yeah, I didn't think that looked good because, you know, of the gap in the glass. So I just got some wood and, you know, fixed it up pretty good. Got a mate who can do it for cheap. But yeah, I'm really happy with this house. It looks really clean. Looks really good. And it's a lot safer than the other house. You can't just get eaten by like a sea serpent or anything. Oh, that wasn't a good idea to go, you know, trying to mine stuff early game. Because, you know, I'd only been alive for about 20 minutes. You know, it's never a good idea to... Well, in normal Minecraft, yes, but this is not normal Minecraft, and it's not a good idea. And I finally slept in my new bed. That was actually my old bed, but I'm just gonna call it my new bed. And I finally leveled up a bit, so that's nice. As you can see, once we reach level 9, we can actually get a longsword, so that's good. It's got about 10 damage, and it's got about the same speed as the same attack speed as the stone sword. So you know, that's alright. It's not great, but it's alright. And you know, I finally decided to light up this nether portal. I'm probably not going to go inside for a while until I have adequate resources and weapons and materials and stuff. Because I've went into the nether in this mod before and it is chaos. It's dark, it's almost pitch black, and except when you're near fire, which is everywhere. And there's different kinds of fire. So, yeah. There's purple fire, I think there's blue fire, and green fire, and of course the red fire. I'm not sure. I don't want to make any rash decisions and then die in the end. Die in the nether, and then have to, go back there and get my stuff. Like, the ghasts are hardly the deadliest thing in the nether. Same with the wither skeletons. You don't want to go in there early game. I know I'm not early game anymore, but you know, you don't want to go in there unless you've got diamond armor. Or something stronger. Sorry about my voice, it's a bit, I don't know what's going on. I might have coronavirus. Just kidding. But yeah, I decided to make an open cut mine. Because you don't want to be in the dark when you're doing mining. Because stuff can just come out of nowhere and just jump out at you. And then, yeah, you die. 99% of the time you die. I'm like, ooh, apples. For some reason I decided to go on a detour to pick apples. And I really didn't want to fall down there. Although it's not even that deep, but, you know, for some reason I didn't want to fall down there. I think I thought it was deeper than it actually was. Yeah, but in total I spent around 2 hours digging that, and I had to cut most of it out, but you know, I hope you enjoyed that little snippet. It's a lot bigger now, but you know. But yeah, so this is what I mean by the combat system. It's actually really cool. Now you've got nice effects and everything, and you know, you can see everything well when you're fighting in combat. And you know, the weird thing is, that was actually the first hostile vanilla mob that I actually killed. I mean, it sounds pretty weird, but there's about 3 times as many modded mobs as there are vanilla mobs, so you know, it's not that weird. And then, you know, I saw the chupacabra and I'm like, where are you? And then I realised that he was down in the ravine, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep now in my house, because a chupacabra by itself is pretty good. Like, you know, you don't need to worry about that, but a chupacabra, a boss chupacabra, is not something you want to deal with. Because if it was by itself, that would be fine. But usually there's around 5 other chupacabras around it. So yeah, that's not fun. I was pretty pissed off I couldn't go to sleep. Oh. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe.